This is the all-new BMW iX50. It features 516 horsepower, rear wheel steering, a self-healing front grille, and it doesn't use a drop of gas. Hey, this is Bryan. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com and the all-new, freshly launched KiesEV.com, where we focus exclusively on electric vehicles. Now, speaking of electric vehicles, BMW of Turnersville was kind enough to give us the keys and early access to the all-new BMW 2022 iX50, and not only that, they gave us a private test track to bring you guys a review. In today's video, we're going to take you through a thorough deep dive into the BMW iX. We're going to walk around the exterior, talk about some of the styling, some of the features. We're going to jump inside and show you the insane tech that they packed in this car, including augmented reality, and then we're going to show you some of the performance and even launch it. Let's start off right front and center here with the elephant in the room. The windshield washer reservoir is under the BMW Round L. Now you may be thinking, why would they put the windshield washer reservoir under the BMW Round L? Well, if you look over here in the interior of the car, this is typically where there is a hood release switch. Well, there is nothing, and that is because BMW does not want you to open the hood because there is no additional storage in there. In fact, they make it super difficult. There's actually a cable over here and there's a cable over there, and it's a two-person operation to open the hood, which is strictly for the mechanics who are going to be working on the vehicle. Now, speaking of the hood, I really like what BMW did here. I like how they put these nice little grooves in here. It reminds me of our G80 M3 and how they actually flow into the kidney grille. Now, unlike my G80 M3, which has massive functional grills for massive airflow for better cooling, this doesn't have a single hole in it. Instead, this is where BMW chose to put all of their supersonic sensors. Not only did they put a lot of their sensors into the grille, they also put a lot of technology, which I think is super cool. First off, it is self-healing. So if you are driving down the road and you pick up a rock chip, it actually has properties in it, kind of like a PPF film that you'd wrap your car in, where it will self-heal. Also has heaters in it. So if it is a cold winter day, again, with self-driving cars and with all this technology, you need to make sure that your sensors are clear and clean. It has heaters so it can easily melt snow and ice. And if your little camera over here gets dirty, it even has sprayers to make sure your car has clean visibility. I love what BMW did with the lighting on this car. I think these headlights look super elegant. They did a really good job on the lights in the back, which we're going to show you in just a minute. But this is the LED package. There is an upgrade from here, which is the laser light, but even the LEDs look amazing. As you can see over here, we have the optional 22-inch wheel package from BMW, and all of the designs on the electric cars are designed to optimize your, well, electric efficiency, would be your fuel efficiency. Now, when you do go up to the 22, you lose about 5 or 10 miles in your range. These cars get up to about 320 miles before they need a charge. So either way, if you lose 5 or 10, I think the big wheels are totally the way to go. What I also think looks great on this specific vehicle is it has the black trim, the Shadowline package, and it is equipped with 4 trunk handles. The handle design on this car is very unique. Instead of a typical pull handle, it's actually what looks like an old trunk handle, and you reach in and there's a little button and then it pops it out. So without any effort, the door pops by itself. And speaking of these doors, something that's really cool and you don't see on a lot of SUVs, it has frameless windows, which I think just looks super cool on the vehicle and is a very, very nice touch. Also with this iX50, this vehicle is equipped with air suspension, which is going to dramatically improve the ride over vehicles that are on springs. One of the biggest complaints about electric cars is they don't ride all that well. However, BMW has solved most of those issues by adding air suspension. And then moving along to the last section of the vehicle and my personal favorite, the rear of the vehicle. I think BMW nailed it. It looks like a Rolls Royce. When you see this on the road, it just looks like super luxurious. And I love what they did with the lighting, with the angles. The entire rear of this car is completely outstanding. The only thing, if I had to nitpick it, instead of exhaust, which I'm very glad BMW didn't put fake exhaust, there's like a diffuser over here a diffuser over here. If I got nitpicky, I'd say it looks like it's missing something in the middle, but overall, I absolutely love what they did with the back of the vehicle. Now, something that's very unique about the hatch of this BMW is that it spans the entire length of the car. Now, due to federal laws, you have to have lights that are affixed to the vehicle so that if there's some kind of situation, you're pulled over on the side of the road, that other cars know that you are stopped. Well, when you put the lights here, they go up with the trunk, but BMW thought of a way around it. See, as this goes up, you can see the hidden emergency lights that look exactly the same as they do on a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. And in addition to that light surrounding it, you can see all of this carbon, which you are going to see when we open the doors. There is a ton of carbon on this car, which is going to counterbalance the weight of the batteries, which is going to help make the vehicle lighter overall. Now, when it comes to charging your BMW, just like where you used to put your gas, you now have ports for where you can install electricity. If you look down here, BMW actually provides a charger with the vehicle, and it can support level 1 charging, which is a standard 110 outlet like that. It has level 2 charging, which is a 220 line, similar to maybe a stove or maybe a clothing dryer. Or it can also support a level 3 charger, which is going to give you the fastest charge possible. So let's close this and talk about the different types of charging. So level 1 charger, you're just going to open the top, you're going to plug this in. Again, it's going to get plugged into a 110 outlet at your house, and it's going to take it from 0 to about 80% in about 25 hours. To do a full charge, it could take up to 100 hours. Now, a lot of the hours that it's going to take to charge has to do with how much current you have flowing to your home. So there is some variability in that. Now, if you want to bump it up to a 220 line, what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to use a level 2 charger. You're going to get it from about 0% to 80% battery in roughly 4 to 8 hours, again, depending on the current flow in your home. Or if you want to use the level 3 charger, it can charge from 0 to about 80% in roughly 36 minutes or so. So as you can see, a level 3 charger is going to be super fast. Now, that's not something that you're going to have in your home. This is going to be great for your home, but if you're going to use a level 3, you're going to have to use a network of chargers. Now, speaking of level 3 chargers, BMW has a deal where you get 2 years of free charging through Electrify America. They have a network of level 3 chargers, and you get 30 minutes at a time, so that's going to get you up and charged and on your way. Last, one of my favorite exterior parts of this vehicle, nice panel gaps all the way around. Let's shift this into the inside of the car, where the first thing you're going to be greeted with is more carbon fiber. Now, as soon as you jump into the iX, you feel like you're in some kind of futuristic time machine. This thing is super cutting edge and super modern. First thing you're greeted with, check out this 4K resolution touchscreen. This is where you're going to be able to control all of the vehicle's features. You can control your radio, your telephone, your navigation, which has some really cool features we're going to show you, radiant heat, and more. So let's take a look. So up here on the screen, this is BMW's all-new infotainment system, the iDrive 8. And as you can see, it is very colorful, and the clarity on this 4K screen is unreal. It looks like a super high resolution TV that you would have in your house. You can put all of your favorite widgets right front and center, and if you don't like the order, all you need to do is just tap and just click and drag, and if you want to add more, you can do that. So if you like to see the weather every time you jump in your car, or you want to care about your car's performance, you have the ability to tailor this car to exactly what you are looking for. If I hit the home button up here, it's going to bring us to our main screen. We'll go through a little bit of the menu. So in the menu, there's 2 main features. You have your vehicle apps and you have all apps. In here, you're going to find everything from your BMW account. There's your personal assistant, you have Spotify, you have navigation, Apple CarPlay, and tons of features. But in today's video, we want to focus on the vehicle apps. Now, Zach and I are cooking in this car right now. So let's start with the climate. Right down there, you can hit the climate button, and then you can see all of the various options, from your heated steering wheel this car also has radiant heat. So basically, what it's going to do, in addition to blowing air out of the vents, some of the panels in the car, like the one over here and also over here, the armrest, are going to heat up, and it's just going to radiate heat throughout your entire body, which means this car heats up super quick and gets super comfortable very, very quickly. As you'd expect, you have a heated seat, but today is pretty warm, so we're gonna put our air conditioned seat on. You have your air conditioning. You also have other climate controls, and then it flips over to the passenger side of the vehicle. Zach's sweating over there, so we're gonna give him a little bit more air and an air-conditioned seat. Now, what's super cool about this vehicle is that it has a 4-zone climate control. So I can have my temperature, Zach can have his, and you can also have 2 additional temperature zones in this car. So you could have summer and winter and fall and spring all at the exact same time, which again is just super cool. Now, with the BMW iDrive 8, you also have built-in AI. So while this looks super cool and it's super easy to use, if you're driving and you don't want to take your hands off the wheel, all you need to say is something like, "Hey BMW, set the driver's side temperature to 70 degrees. And just give it a second.
I'm setting 70 degrees Fahrenheit for the driver.
And as you can see, my assistant has set the temperature to 70 degrees for my zone of the vehicle. You can do the exact same thing with all the zones in the car. You can relay navigation prompts and much more. Let's see what else is in here. Also in the apps, you can set up your mobile phone. There's the personal assistant, there's wireless charging. Like I have my phone down here charging right now. But something that I think is super cool is the seat comfort settings. So this allows you to fully control your seat, both the driver and also the front passenger seat, all from your screen. Now, if you take a look over here at my door, you will notice that BMW has moved the controls from the seat to the door, which is pretty cool and super easy to get to, but they also give you the ability to control it from your screen. So if I go like this, my seat is going back right now. So right now it's going back, and we can make it come back. So super cool, you can do all of these adjustments all from your touch screen. Also in the apps, you can control automated parking. If you don't like parallel parking, the car can park for you. You can change your ambient lighting colors. There's all different kinds of apps that you can add to the vehicle. There's a built-in dash camera and just so many features that we're gonna have to come back and do a dedicated video on just the iDrive 8. So until then, let's show you some of the rest of the car. So if you look in front of me over here, the gauge cluster is fully digital. It is just part of this massive 4K high resolution screen. And there's even a button on the steering wheel that you can control the layout and the look and feel of your cluster, which I think is super cool. I mean, you have the screen, so you might as well have the ability to change it to tailor it to what you want to be looking at as you're driving. Speaking of the steering wheel, it's kind of a different shape and size. You can see it's not really round. It's kind of like this hexagon kind of look. I think it's pretty cool that BMW tries to do something different in their electric cars. They did it in the i3, they did it in the i8. So it's kind of expected that they were going to do it in the iX as well. I think it's kind of fitting. It makes it more like futuristic. So I think it's pretty cool that BMW didn't just put a regular round wheel like they do in pretty much every other car that they make. Now, to finish out the door, BMW put the lock and unlock on the door, which is the most practical place to put it. On some of the F series, they put it in the middle of the car, which was a pain to get to. To get out of the car, they actually have a little button. You push the button and the door is going to pop for you. And this is both on the front doors and the rear doors. And you may be thinking, my kid's gonna push that. Well, BMW thought ahead and they put a child lock conveniently right there, which is going to lock out the button so your kids can't jump out and escape. Now, the seats in this vehicle, I mentioned before that I would turn on Zach's cooled seat. This vehicle came equipped with heated and cooled. It has these little perforations that actually blow cold air through on a hot day, or they warm up on a cold day, so it's super cool. Over here in the armrest area, BMW thought about even things like, say your arm is on the armrest and your wife needs to get something, she can just open it up, grab what she needs, and close it, and your arm doesn't even have to move. Look at that. Over here we have controls to the vehicle. You can see the start-stop button over here. Here we go, we started the car up. And then if you want to put the car in reverse, neutral, or drive, you just flip this little switch, which we're going to do in a little bit. And then over here is the main control for the iDrive 8 system. So if you don't want to get fingerprints constantly on your screen, you can easily control the entire thing from this convenient wheel. Everything is super high-end feeling. It doesn't feel like cheap plastic. It's, I don't know if it's crystal or just glass, but super heavy feeling and super high quality. Over here is a little button where you can quick access your cameras if you have the 360 view built into the car, and then you just pinch your hand and you can check out where you are. So as you can see, we are on the grass next to the test track, and we can see 360 around the vehicle. Something really cool about the iX is BMW realized that you own a cell phone, and they gave you a convenient place to put it over here. There's an identical one of these over there on the passenger door. And this vehicle is even equipped with wireless charging, so you can just put it right down there next to these two other convenient USB Type-C chargers. Now, that being said, if you want to plug your phone in while it's in this super convenient holder, there's a hole in the bottom where you can feed the cord through. Now, for one of my favorite things in this vehicle, if you look up, there is a giant piece of glass that goes from the front to the rear of the vehicle. But you'll notice that there's no shade. So what do you do if it starts to get really sunny? Or maybe you went somewhere and you don't want people looking in your car for some reason. I'm not sure why they're above your car, but all you need to do is press this little button up there and it will turn it opaque, all digitally controlled, so that way no one can see in your car. And like I said, if it's a bright sunny day, you want to dull out the sun so it's not beating on your head, that is how you do it. As far as the rear of the vehicle is concerned, there's actually a ton of space back here. Now, one thing that I would be thinking of if I was buying this car is I have 3 kids and I have a couple car seats, and this would totally fit it. In fact, this car is about a foot smaller width-wise than my BMW X7, and it's about as long as a BMW X5. So the most surprising thing to me when I saw this car in real life was how big it actually is inside. Now, say you don't have 3 people in the back, you only have 2. It has this nice armrest over here with a convenient cup holder. Now, speaking of being in the back seat, you will see that there are 2 USB Type-C ports over here. There are 2 more over here. You have independent climate control over here, and it has a little port for BMW accessories like a coat hanger or an iPad holder. Last, because there's no drive shaft because it's an electric vehicle, there's no hump in the middle back here or up here, so the middle seat kid isn't gonna complain. And to finish out the interior of the vehicle, let's take a look at the trunk. The trunk is a very good size. We have a BMW X7 personally, and this trunk has a lot more space, although it does not have a 3rd row. And these seats, as you can imagine with everything in this car, they're all electronically controlled. So if you want to get some bigger packages or you need to go to the hardware store to pick up something large, all you need to do is just push that button and those seats will drop down. But you can see with our camera gear here, you could easily have several suitcases and be good to go. Let's get this party started with some driving. So when you start up the car, kind of gives you this cool electronic sound, and then there's this little toggle switch over here. You'll notice that there's no park. Basically for park, you just shut the car off. Then it puts you in the park, or there is a parking brake, which will also do the trick. Now, when it comes to drive, there's 2 main ways that you can go about it. There's regular drive, which is going to, when you let off the accelerator, you're still gonna coast just like a gasoline car. And then there's also a setting over here that says B. I'm not sure what the B stands for, maybe brake, where you can basically drive the car with 1 pedal. So if you let off the accelerator, the car actually kind of lunges a little bit forward. It's kind of like driving a go-kart. It's actually pretty cool, especially if you're in stop and go. It's just literally you're on the throttle or you're off, and it will actually come to a complete stop, which is, again, pretty cool. But if you drop something and let off the accelerator, you kind of throws your weight forward. So driving the iX, it is a very smooth driving vehicle. It's a heavy vehicle, but it also has a good amount of horsepower behind it, which is pretty cool. The car rides very comfortably. As we said before, this car has air suspension, and that definitely makes a good difference. The car just glides over these bumps and whatnot We're pretty much just in a regular comfort mode. Let's put it in sport mode here. And the car is very quick. There's no gears, which is a little bit weird to get used to. Like, so don't expect paddle shifters or anything because, well, there's not multiple gears. So now I'm going to switch it to B mode. And I wasn't on the accelerator and we kind of lunged forward. So this is probably going to be very difficult for you to see. But as we go, and I can just completely let off, I'm still off, and the car will just gradually come to a complete stop. And then literally doesn't move again until, whoop, there's a guy on the track here. And then it literally doesn't move again until you hit the accelerator. So it's definitely interesting, makes it definitely feel very electric and go-kart like. But overall, it's pretty cool. As far as the handling is concerned, this thing turns excellent. And now it's probably largely in part to the rear wheel steering as well. They just move ever so slightly, but especially if you're in a tight spot, definitely helps you navigate with ease in this car, which again is just super cool. So let's go around to our straightaway, and then we'll do a little launch control action. Now also with the car, it has two modes where you can actually, what do they call it? They call it iconic sounds. So if you want it to be as quiet as possible, you turn off iconic sounds, or if you want it to have a little bit of an electronic-y sound as you're driving, you can have it on. I have it on because it's too quiet without it. As far as like road noise and whatnot too, the sound insulation on this thing is excellent. All right, launch control. The 0 to 60 in this is 4.4 seconds, and it is quite fun to drive. And there's zero wheel slip, like not even a little bit of wheel slip. There's zero wheel slip. This car, it definitely, here I'm gonna take it off of B mode so we don't throw up. Yeah, driving in B mode where it's one pedal, if you're not used to it, your passengers might get a little nauseous. Yeah, you just put the pedal down and it just goes. And also, which is also very important, the braking system is really good because you can go really fast and you can also stop the car too. You know, good brakes are definitely essential on a car, especially this weight. Again, the batteries are not exactly light, which is why they use a lot of carbon fiber in these cars, but overall the car feels like a solid car. It doesn't feel overly heavy, and as soon as you hit that accelerator, the whole car just feels weightless. It's a crazy feeling. It's just constant torque. Now they are coming out with an M60 version of this car, which I think has like 800 foot-pound torque, where this is like 530 or something like that. I can't imagine what that car is going to feel like. That's just going to be completely insane. Also, every point that you touch in the car, like the steering wheel is leather, over here is a soft touch, over here is a soft touch. It just gives you that premium feel when you use the iDrive controller. It's glass or crystal, so everything just feels very well built, very solid. I know a lot of other auto manufacturers that are getting into electric, they're not paying the extra attention on the luxury side of it. They're getting you an electric car, but they're not giving you a refined electric car like what you're getting with the BMW. Also, a couple other things. You'll notice that, as we said before, there's no drive shaft, so there's an extra amount of room on the floor here. There's not that hump like normally you would have in a car because there's transmission and also drive shaft. Now, I wouldn't put anything there because it could still interfere with your pedal box, but it definitely makes the car feel bigger than it even is, and it's already a big car, so definitely very roomy inside. Now, the last feature that is super cool that we want to show you guys is this car. I'm not sure if you saw it from the outside or not, but over here there is actually a 4K high resolution camera that is going to be constantly watching the road. So that way, when you have things like you want to use augmented reality in your navigation, that's actually where it's pulling the image from. So it's super high quality. So let us show you what navigation looks like with augmented reality. All right, so we have the navigation up here. And we are driving, and then when it has turns and whatnot, it'll actually look at that. It looks like a video game. How cool is that? Look, it's telling us what to do all on the screen. So it's telling me up here, I need to exit the track.
Turn right and then immediately turn left.
Look at that. It's like playing Gran Turismo. Forza or whatever the cool game is these days.
Turn left and then turn into the second
Look at
street
that.
to the left.
Oh my gosh. This is a gamer's joy. So Zach and I were just talking off camera. This is super cool. I mean, just like this, but
Turn
especially
right and then immediately
if
turn
you're
left.
driving somewhere like in Philly or New York or something where sometimes there's all these different lanes and you're not really super
Turn
sure
left and then
exactly
immediately
which
turn
one you're
left.
supposed to be in.
Turn left
The
and then
guidance on
immediately
this
turn left.
is absolutely incredible. And
left.
like we said, it
Turn left.
literally just feels
Arriving
like
at
you're
your
playing a video
destination
game,
on the left.
which is crazy. Another thing in here, something that I would be concerned about if I bought an electric vehicle, not only how long do I have between chargers and whatnot. There's a guy filming us right now. But the other thing is in here, if you go into the navigation, you can actually see where all of the charging stations are. So that way, if you have any concern, if you are running low on electric, you can actually just plug it in and then you can head to the nearest charger. Over here, you can see, looks like there's one relatively nearby here.
Probably the one inside the building.
Yeah, right. So on the iDrive 8 system, if you go over here to where it says charging stations, and then after a couple of seconds, it will load. Something that's really cool is that this system is run off of 5G. So the navigation, from what I understand, is cloud delivered. So that way it's not relying on software that you have on your computer. It's continuously updated. So that way you don't get lost. But as you can see over here, there are a ton of different charging stations. There you go, Electrify America. 2 years, get a half hour each time. So if I own this car, I would be heading to Electrify America. Once again, my name is Brian. That's Zach behind the camera. Thanks so much for watching Kies Motorsports, and a huge thanks to the guys over here at BMW of Turnersville. They're always helping us out when we need things like access to cars or things for our own cars and whatnot. So if you guys are in the area, you need a good BMW dealer, BMW of Turnersville is our go-to. So once again, my name is Brian. That's Zach. Thanks for watching today's video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. Check us out at KiesMotorsports.com and the all-new KiesEV.com for everything electric. We hope that you guys enjoyed our review of the BMW iX50. Make sure to leave some comments down below. Let us know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.